Welcome back. Hello, greetings and salutations. Welcome back to Buffalo Fireside Chats. How you guys doing? I figured what better way to spend Sunday evening just going over some of the stocks that we have been watching that have had some news over the last week and just looking forward to see what we're excited about coming up this week. So it's an exciting time. I do have a special mystery guest on, but we're going to get to that in a second. But we did have a very exciting poll today. We had a very exciting poll. Let's check this thing out. Fun poll time. Who has the most enthusiastic and dedicated OTC shareholder base? Not listed? Put it down below and tell us why. So here we are, and LTNC just crushed it today. The LTNC army was just out, and they were heard. And I got to say, I'm really impressed with their shareholder base and the excitement that everything that's been happening with them lately. You know, they were expert market, and so they weren't tradable. And you could see like this has been a long time coming. You could see like the passion in the community. And I hope at some point to actually have them on, have the whole team on, so they could share their story with you because I think it is a damn good one. But yeah, they crushed it today. And I want to give a shout out to all these people who actually shared that post. You could see the enthusiasm here. DA87, Dave, Free Will, Esteban, Chestnut Checkers, Nicholas, Carter, actually, Carter at Carter Locked In had a comment when he did his post, a very nice comment, has a very fitting spot in this poll. Shareholder run, shareholders cared for, complete purpose, next generation beverages, healthier benefits, strong support between one another, lots of engagement, and a CEO who constantly says, let's keep going. What could be better than that? All right. And then Tom Zaro, he responded as well. To add to Carter's great response, what other company has great shareholders like Locked In and Dr. J and his wife that come out on the weekend to support Locked In at our brand building swim Miami event? Thank you so much. Oh, and one more thing, Buffalo Fireside. All 50,000 of us wake up every day protecting the company like Max the Doberman does in this video. I dare you to grab the can. I won't. We know what we have. We took what it took to get back, and we are not stopping. So that's very exciting stuff. I want to talk a little bit about LTNC. You know, their share structure, yeah, it's big, but you know, they didn't come back all this way to just mess it up. So I think that they're going to be tidying this up. You know, yes, it's a really big share structure. I get it. But you know what? Hey, this is just one. Getting pink current is just the first battle of many that these guys are going to accomplish. So I have faith in them. I mean, look what they were able to accomplish here. You know what I mean? So you know what this tells me here is that this has a massive following, a dedicated shareholder base, and these guys are just getting warmed up. Seriously. So, and I did put it's alive, and here they are, and they're going to do great things, I think. So, I want to go back to February, and I want to look at one of their PRs. And so, listen, last year when somebody told me about esports, I was like, "What the hell is esports?" I thought they were maybe kidding. No, it's a real thing. So basically, they had this PR, and when I do have them on, I want to ask them more about the esports division that they're doing. But it looks like they said they're pleased to announce the launch of its new esports gaming division. All right, exciting stuff. All right, the total market for the esports industry is estimated at over 1.6 billion. All right, and they said they encourage every gamer to visit lockedin.gg. Let me tell you right now, I think that the esports thing is going to be huge. It's going to just keep on growing, and keep on growing. And you know, I work at a school, and guess what? There's an esports club. So I thought it was, you know, it was a joke at first, but man, there are some serious gamers out there. I know I'm living under a rock, right? Let's look at a quote from Tom Zaro. I am pleased to see the gaming enthusiasts have a dedicated space to participate in their esports competitions, enjoy our locked-in beverage products, grow their community, and do so in an environment where they are most comfortable. It is my goal to see this division have its dedicated product line very soon, to be trademarked under another name, therefore delivering more to the parent company and the LTNC shareholder value proposition. We would love our current and potential shareholders, consumers, and gaming enthusiasts to please join our affiliate program and learn more about what's to come. So that's exciting stuff. if you know, in the chart right here, like I said, you know, these guys, it's boom, it's off to the races. If you haven't, give these guys a follow on the Twitter, or the X, as I should say. Got to be right here. Got to say the X. So it's at live locked in. Don't put the E in there. There's no E. There's no E. So shout out to all of the locked in community. Great to have you guys a part of the BFC. So, all right. We do have a special mystery guest today. Special mystery guest. But I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready to bring in the mystery guest. And the mystery guest is backstage. So put in the comments, who do you think is our mystery guest today? So, all right, I want to get right into this and get right into, like, you know what, I want to talk a little bit of Ilus first, because there's listen, shareholders, this shareholder base is patient. I'm patient, but we're itching. We're ready to go. We're ready for things to start happening. So I want to go through the most recent PR that they put out. Let's take a look here. The Ilus board of directors has recently approved the uplisting of both subsidiaries, and we're talking about SAML and Qind, by reverse merger. All right, and I've talked about that before. Following progress in discussions with national exchange listed companies, additionally, the board has approved the distribution of an equity dividend in the form of SAML shares to Ilus shareholders of record on a date to be defined. SAML has acquired 7 public safety businesses from Ilus. All right, and I have a clip for you that I ask about this and why this is so significant. I'm going to play that in a second. So from Ilus, and the subsidiary is in the process of completing an important new acquisition to be incorporated into its uplist plans. Qind has acquired 51% interest in Al-Shola Gas, which delivered nearly 11 million in revenue and 1.8 million in net income in 2023. Now we're going to talk about Qind in a second, but I want to keep going on here. All right. Both Qind and SAML are currently in late stages of discussions with national exchange listed companies regarding reverse merger agreements. The parties are progressing with their due diligence, following which the subsidiaries intend to sign business combination agreements with the respective national exchange listed companies. Once the BCAs are signed, the national exchange listed companies will file their S4 registration statements, which will include registration of Qind and SAML shareholders' shares. Valuations will be confirmed by fairness opinions obtained from a team of approved, experienced, independent financial experts. So when they do a reverse merge, they're going to give a percentage of shares for the shares that you have in Qind or SAML. All right, it's going to look a little bit like a reverse split. It's very similar to it, but I think it is equity based on what I'm gathering. All right, so let's take a look at that clip. Rob, why don't you pull up that clip where I asked JP about this exact thing with SAML? Most recently, 350 million shares of common stock were issued at 350,000 shares of Series B stock of SAML. And this was for the acquisition of Firebug, Georgia Fire and Rescue, Bright Concept Detection and Protection Systems, Bullhead, E-Raptor, the Vehicle Converters, and Al-Shola. Explain why this is such a strategic move for those subsidiaries as well as for Ilus shareholders. And one thing that I'm having flashbacks to is the different divisions that you were talking about at the shareholder meeting last year. So why is this significant, and why should Ilus shareholders feel content about this?
Yeah, so I'll give you a very, very quick answer, and then I'll give you a bit more of a detailed kind of elaboration on it, if I can. Since it's rare that we get these interviews, I know we're going to do more of them, Eric, but let me give you the short answer, which is simply that we being Saml acquired the emergency response businesses from Ilus so that we can aggressively grow those businesses. So all those businesses which you mentioned in your question, we acquired them from Ilus so that they can be aggressively grown. So I would imagine that you joined, or you became a shareholder of Ilus because you wanted to see firefighting technology on your shores in the United States. Probably for many shareholders, it was literally as simple as that. And this strategy allows us to do exactly that. That's the simple answer, right? But also wanted to add, to kind of elaborate on that a lot of people assumed by that recent PR, the one that you just referred to, that last year was wasted, or possibly even the last 2 years was wasted. And I just want to say the following, because I need to be clear, because this is not understood by many, many people. And I know I can drive the point home until I'm probably dead, and many people still might not get it. But look, nearly 100 members of our operating business team worked their asses off last year, right? Whether it's the welders at Bullhead Products, the Homatro servicing technicians at Georgia Fire, the fire alarm installers at Oshola Safety, the design engineers at Firebug, or Alex and his small team in Serbia, they all grafted their asses off and they provided for their families in the last year. So what is my point? We have real businesses which put food on the table for real families, and all of that goes on day and night. It's going on right now today, and it's going on while the keyboard warriors and all those people talk their shits on Twitter and on stock twats and all that stuff. It's happening. We have real businesses in our group right now today. I know it's not glamorous. I know it's not constantly hitting your highlights reel in terms of news, but the business goes on, and it's going to go on for another 20 years or more. It's going to go on without the OTC. It's going to go on without NASDAQ or any of that, So I particularly find it funny. Actually, I find it quite sad when people say, that Ilus is doomed if it doesn't uplist. When we literally own companies right now today, which will outlast literally your and my lifetimes, right? We own them today. 100% of them they paid for, we own them today. So we've already built a business that can sustain itself, right? Are we happy? Of course not, because without doubt, we really need to grow the darn thing to where you and I and thousands of shareholders want it to be, right? So yes, going to a big board will play a massive part in us being able to achieve that growth, as well having a suitable special purpose vehicle in the interim as a stepping stone to help it grow. And that's what the PR was about, right? That we're now in a position to aggressively grow all of these existing businesses and to add new ones to the emergency response group and to take it to NASDAQ. And to take it to NASDAQ a hell of a lot sooner than anyone might assume because of the business combination opportunities which are currently on the table. Those opportunities, well, they might have been on the table in 2021, 2022, or even 2023. We didn't know about them, right? We know about them today. That's what we're currently executing. So, to answer why the acquisitions by Saml are important for shareholders of Ilus, in addition to what I've already said, which hopefully is positive for Ilus shareholders. It's positive for me as an Ilus shareholder too. But also because Ilus shareholders are scheduled to get a dividend from SAML, right? So a substantial portion of those 350 million SAML shares will be paid out to registered Ilus shareholders in the form of an equity dividend. So I guess, as logic would have it, if you're not an Ilus shareholder, you won't get the dividend. And I suppose if you're not a SAML shareholder, you wouldn't get shares in the NASDAQ company were to sign a binding business combination agreement with a NASDAQ company on the sign and close model. So the main point is we're building a business. We're building the business we always communicated to shareholders back in 2021, back in 2022, back in 2023, back in 2024, now at the beginning of the year. We're building that very business, and obviously Saml is just one vehicle that helps us achieve that.
It's been a long freaking road, and anybody that has been following this channel, I've been big on Ilus since day one. Still am. I'm still a bull, but it's been grueling. It's been a long time. A lot of us have doubled down. A lot of us have grown our positions exponentially. But we're at the point now where we really want some stuff to finally start coming to fruition. So. Yeah, I couldn't think of anybody better to talk about this with than him, the mystery guest. He's been here before, Jord Hugga. Let's bring in the Jord. Mr. Jord Hugga, what's up, man?
How you doing, brother?
Doing good. I'm doing very good. It's great to have you back on. It's been a while since you've been on the show, dude.
Yep. Yeah, it seems like we've just been waiting for news. And so, in lieu of that, I know you've had some new plays you've been covering, but yeah, we've just been kind of in a holding pattern.
And I got to say, it's the truth. I tend to focus, I'm focusing on, where I could put, other, make other entries and other stocks and stuff like that. And so I find, as an investor lately, and I don't know how you feel about this, but I like to focus on multiple investments, multiple trade opportunities. I'm trying not to dwell on, and everybody that has watched this show, I'm totally high on Ilus, but I can't sit and dwell about it. I can't still sit and think about it. The only if I'm big and I just got to wait. So I'm trying to find, some great CEOs, some companies that really want to share their passion, share their products, and communicate with a shareholder base. So yeah, I've been. There's a bunch that actually I'm going to have you on, and we're going to go through a bunch of stocks here that we've been covering regularly. That I'm pretty excited about, I got to say. But what about you? I mean, give me your thoughts. Where we are at. It almost feels like we're at the crossroads, and like we're almost like in a holding pattern. When you fly in and they put you in that holding pattern. What? Give me your thoughts on it.
Well, I mean, you touched on it. I mean, it's kind of just we're in a holding pattern. There's multiple different things that the companies have to do to get us to the finish line so they can announce the news and, ultimately give us our dividends and tell us what's what. It seems like based on the last few PRs, they're definitely making steps in the right, in the right direction. And I think really what it comes down to at this point is just how you feel about what the company's accomplished and how you feel about how they conduct themselves and do business. Because for me personally, I'm pretty happy with everything, but I can easily see how people could feel led astray or why they would be upset. Maybe not understanding the business model means that by definition there's going to be multiple companies that we don't actually go all the way to the limit with and acquire, but I'm just hanging in the cut right now, just laughing and waiting. I think we got about 2 months, max, and whatever happens, I think it's going to be amazing. And I look forward to, celebrating that news with the entirety of the BSC.
Oh yeah, and we shall. I'm excited about SML. I've opened up a substantial position there. I know you have as well. I think that there's a lot, and the reason why is because once I saw Ilus transfer those subsidiaries, those core businesses that we were all jazzed up about 2 years ago. Once I saw them put all that in SML, I go, all right, I'm going to follow where they're going with this because obviously they didn't want to do any further dilution, it seemed, with Ilus, because if they wanted to grow those companies, if they wanted to raise the funds, they would have had to definitely added shares, and that's really not the route they wanted to take. So they have an option, and he talked about that in the interview, that it's going to benefit the Ilus shareholder because they're not going to be the it's not the structure that's going to be diluted. I'm opening up that substantial position in SML as a view because I do believe that it's going to see a significant increase in value, especially when they do that reverse merger. So let's talk QIND a little bit. They did put out that they completed that acquisition with El Shola Gas. Now, it was a stock cash combination. It talks about in this article. I'm not going to go through all of it, but I know quality's out the window, and there's a couple positives here. But El Shola isn't a small company, so they have 10,000 active residential gas supply contracts, 570 commercial supply contracts. So they're not small. All right, let's see. They delivered 11 million and 1.8 million, respectively, in 2023 revenue and net income. All right, and they have 600,000 in the bank. So, sorry, in bank borrowings on its balance sheet. So I don't know, like it goes to talk about the quality. Actually, I'm sorry. We did talk about quality international, but that's out the window. I think that's going to save them money. Obviously, they couldn't renegotiate those tranche payments. Something was not right there. A couple people called that out too. But here, QIND here as well talks about uplisting. It said basically the company plans to withdraw its S1 registration statement previously filed with the SEC, and the National Exchange listed company intends to file an S4 registration statement following signing of a business combination agreement. All right. All QIND shareholders shares will be exchanged for shares in the nationally exchange listed company at an exchange ratio agreed between QIND and the National Exchange listed company. Each party's valuation will be confirmed by fairness of opinion obtained by a team of experienced and independent financial experts. So, I mean, it could be a blessing in disguise that they're not glued to Quality International anymore. And I've never owned a share of QIND. I'm not saying I wouldn't buy some, but what are your thoughts there?
I feel kind of the same way. The silver lining being that Obviously, with them backing out of the QI deal, there's a lot of people that are, confused, upset, maybe, feel led astray again. And for me, I kind of am neutral on it. I'm not saying that I'm happy about it, but I'm not upset about it. I can see how it can kind of work into their plans, that by not having the whatever it was, $74 million in liabilities that we'd have to keep paying, that moving forward just with QIND and not QI, I think obviously is going to be best for their plans and whatever it is that they've decided. I just look forward to knowing what that is ourselves. I think that most people felt the expectation was that we were going to be hearing a lot more about the plans that they had over the course of the next week or so. With the financials coming in for multiple companies and the different companies getting good news. So hopefully that's still their plan. But yeah, I mean, really at this point, it's just kind of, it's very exciting, if not frustrating, for the people that feel like they've waited too long. For me, I'm still just trying to get as many more shares as I can before the finality is discussed and put out there for the world to see.
No, I'm I'm with you. I mean, I do. And let's see, I started covering this 2 or 3 years ago, or investing, I should say. And I could say that I said at least a 3 to 5 year hold, but I'm ready to get this party started. I want them to do what they have to do to get to the NASDAQ. I want them to grow exponentially. You know that they've ran into problems in Serbia. They've ran into problems, with obviously the tranche payments. And, he even said, like, even in that clip, JP admitted it's not pretty. It's not what do you say? It's not glamorous, you know. And quite frankly, it does suck. There's a lot of people that are really ticked off about it, but I'm gonna err on the side of, I'm gonna trust my due diligence. I'm gonna trust the fact that I'm gonna trust the company that they're gonna end up doing what they're gonna do. I know a lot of you in the stock community are probably like, "My God, E-Rock, just stop it." Stop it already. But hey, you know what? We all have our favorite plays, and this is my favorite investment, just because it was my first. No, I'm just kidding. It wasn't my first. But it's exciting because I do want to see these guys succeed. And I know that if they wanted to railroad us, if they wanted to rug pull us, it would have been done. They could have diluted it to shit. And, but I don't think that was their goal. Clearly, because we saw at the shareholder meeting those 4 divisions laid out, those special purpose vehicles, or doing reverse mergers, basically what they're trying to do now. So I don't know. We're going to see where it ends up. I want to look at the chart, and I will say it's just consolidating here in the ones. All right. I mean, news could send it. Action's going to send it. The only one thing's going to send it is a done deal for these reverse mergers, I think. But yeah, it is consolidating nicely. It could still pull back under a penny. Yeah, I said it. I don't see that happening unless something really bad happens. And if it does, that's where I would load. I'm going to be adding more. But yeah, I think that, like I said, holding pattern it is. Are you in a DRCR?
Yeah, I own a bunch of those too.
Okay, so DRCR. And Ilus. Now, Nick Link is he's chairman, I think, for DRCR, but Ilus owns 10 million shares of DRCR. So it looks like, and that's good for us because they've had a nice rebound in share price. And we covered this before back in January, and I marked that 345 mark, and I marked the fact that this thing got batted down at 14 up here. It did. It got batted down, and I marked that 3. And I just remember just telling myself, but just load up here. And I actually do not own any of this, but I was like, just load up here, load up at the 3s. But I didn't. I had some other things going on. And here we are, and we're at that 14 mark again. And so my question is, is it going to just be batted down, or are we going to see a continued surge in interest in buying? Right now, personally, I want to see it come back down a little bit so that way we could load up. I'm talking about me personally. You do what you do. This is not financial advice, remember. But what do you guys think is going to happen? Tell me in the comments. Do you think this thing is going to get batted down, or do you think we're going to keep pressing on? You know, You always look for that 50 to 100 cross. It's happening. It looks like it's going to happen. So I don't know. Maybe we see a little bit more consolidation, but I think that 3 mark would have been great to get into. So, and look at their share structure. All right, it's 27 million float, 7.4 million market cap. This thing has room to run, especially because of their revenues. You know, Swiftly recorded a company record revenue of 128 million and returned a net profit of 2.4 million. And that's always been my beef with DRCR, is that their cost of operations is very high. But I think as the company grows, that is going to be tamed. All right, but this is still excellent news to have a revenue stream of 128 million, and they're sitting at 14 cents now. Still completely undervalued, in my opinion. So I don't know. It's exciting, to see what they're going to do, what they're going to do in the future. This is that PR that they put out. And they talked about reverse merger too. Swift is pleased to announce that it is in the final stages of discussions and negotiations to enter into a reverse merger with a company listed on a national exchange. And they're using this formula, aren't they, Jord? They're using this formula that they found out that they were going to use through Qind. And they're like, oh, you know what? Not only are we going to do it with Qind, we're going to do it with SAML. We're going to do it, and Nick's probably telling DRCR, yep, we'll do it with DRCR too. Oh, you know what? We could do this with Ilus itself. So, do you have any thoughts on DRCR? Tell me, guys, blow up the comment section. Tell me what you think on all these. It's interesting stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the one big thought I have now that I had a long time ago is that there's always been a chance that Ilus will issue Ilus shareholders DRCR shares. Because they own such a substantial amount of shares on the books that it just makes sense for them to, share that wealth with the Ilus shareholders. That's just the easiest way to do it. Not to say that they're going to do it right here. And yeah, I just love having companies that have that tenuous grasp to NickLink in them, but that are still separate entities, right? So I love what James and his team are doing. I think DRCR is an amazing company, but again, it's kind of nice because you have the benefit of knowing or having met James and his team because of their proximity to Ilus and Nick and JP, but then they are their own thing. And so if you don't understand or necessarily like Ilus or the conglomerate, or you don't like fire safety and rescue, everybody kind of understands gambling, so you can just jump right into that. So I think that's pretty great. And I'm really, really happy to see all of the stuff they've accomplished in the last 6 months. The share price has not reflected it until just recently. But then, I think this is just going to be the beginning of a really long and fruitful pattern forming of just nonstop, price action moving up.
I mean, I love the concept of Swifty Global. I think clearly they've done a good job, especially, having that 2+ million profit. They've done a good job. And you know what? Rarely does it happen where there's a bump in share price because of the financials. And we saw that. And that's great. I like to see, and this doesn't happen in the OTC. It usually it runs on speculation and it builds and builds and builds. And then when the catalyst hit, it's like, sell the news. But it was nice to see that thing bump based on the financials of it. And I think a lot of it had to do with that reverse merger line too. And yes, Timothy Eaton in the comments section think DRCR has the biggest chance for a huge move this year. I agree 100%. Harry Parrott Swifty seems to be doing well. The long term, I think this should be a $1 stock, in my opinion. And I'm not saying that I'm not talking about a 000 stock. I'm talking about a stock that was at substantial values just a year and a half ago. But now that they're adding the revenues there, I think that the best case scenario for all these companies that we're talking about is to get out of the OTC, where financials are celebrated more so on the NASDAQ and the NYSE. Do you know what I'm saying? George, did I lose you? I may have lost Jordan. Well, here we go. Paul McKinney. Holy smokes. What are you drinking, Eric? That's a big mug. Now, this is a Big Ditch Hay Burner from Buffalo, brewed in Buffalo. Very delicious. Very good. Cheers to you, sir. So yeah, well, I'll wait for Jordan to get back on.
I'm back.
Oh, hey, there you are. Welcome back.
Sorry about that.
Hey, I was just telling the guests I'm drinking a Big Ditch Hay Burner. Excellent beer. Excellent beer. If you've ever had it, you might enjoy it.
Yeah, I've been drinking Cigar City's brown ale. Wonderful beer.
Yeah. Beer talk with Jordan Eric. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I'm excited about DRCR. I think it's great. I love the link stocks. I want them to be successful. I hope that they succeed in all they do, and I think we're on the cusp of it. That's what I'm going to conclude with. I really do, and I understand people are like pissed off, they're angry, they're upset, and they're sick of waiting. But don't they say good things come to those who wait? And don't worry, I'm not going to ask you to make a birthday cake analogy, because the truth is we're not getting vanilla or chocolate. We're getting some mystery flavor.
Well, no, I mean,
Point.
no, I think the point there is just that we're getting something, and that's really all that matters. It's not necessarily what it is that you receive, just that you receive it. And so it's been a long time coming. Nobody knows for sure what exactly it's going to be. I've changed my mind 3 or 4 times just in the last 6 to 8 weeks. Trying to figure out what they're doing. But I see them making moves in the right direction. I see them adding value, even if it doesn't always look that way, like with QIND pulling out or QI pulling out of QIND. But yeah, I think there's going to be big news in the next couple of weeks for QIND and SAML uplisting. And then I think in the short term after that, we're going to see the same stuff for ILUS.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I agree with you 100% there. All right, now the next stock I wanted to talk about was, I'm not sure if you've been following this or not, but AHRO. Dude, I am absolutely excited about it. And let me just talk a little bit about AHRO. So if you guys haven't followed this one yet, I had the CEO on. I'm going to play a clip from the show, but he's going to be on again to give us an update in a couple weeks. I'm very excited because this was trip 4 or 5. It's sitting at 12 now. It looks like it's moving in the right direction. And I'll give you my opinion on where I would, where I see support and like what's going on with the chart. But let's just talk about it. These guys are fully audited. They're U.S. SEC reporting. That's great. And there's President Treasurer Chris Giordano. He's the one I had on the show. Great guest. Here's the share structure. It's a typical OTC share structure, 2.5 billion authorized shares. It's almost maxed out. We got, an outstanding share count of 20. It is maxed out. That's it. Yeah, 2.15 million or billion. There it is. So that's it. It has a big float, but whatever. This is the stuff I love about the OTC. It's exciting. It's like this one has me really, really excited. And this is the next one. And I'll say it. This is my personal opinion. I think that this does have the ingredients to make it to that 1 to 2 cent mark. And you know what? Hey, hopefully this ages well. But let's look at one of the recent PRs. This was on April 4th. All right. Maybax Global signs agreements with world's largest digital ad agencies. And so they signed an agreement with Orca, Smarty Ads, Boldwin Media, and Ads Intelligence. And ads is really going to be their bread and butter because they're expanding to all these channels. And so it says right here, we have 56 channels with proprietary content. To date, we have only marketed one of our 56 channels to advertisers. That channel known as Comfy Channel. Now, listen, let me just tell you, like, if you go on Roku and you look at iComfort or, oh my gosh, iDream CCTV. Oh my gosh, can't get it right. iDream CTV. It's real. I downloaded it and it's a real deal. It's the real deal. But the whole purpose of what they're going to do is they're going to get this ad revenue and they're adding stations. They have tons in the works. I'm very excited about it. And so I think what they've done on Roku, like be able to tangibly go and log in and do it, it's great. I think they're just getting started. I think we're going to get a lot more information. He's very excited. They're very active on the Twitter, on the X, AHRO going to Los Angeles next weekend to ink the deal for 5 stations and to visit 2 other station owners in San Diego and Palm Springs. Yes, build it and they will come. It's true here at AHRO anyhow. And you got to talk about ad revenue, which is freaking huge. April 12th, AHRO, Maybax is at 63 stations. At 100, word gets out word gets around and you start getting your local ads filled fast and at the highest prices. Station count is so IMPT important. In negotiations for 20 stations in Louisiana and the leases for the towers. All right, 20 stations. With 2 towers, we blanket the LA market. That's insane. That brings them to 83. This guy's not stopping. He really isn't. They have a lot planned, and the Maybachs is the streaming portion of it. They actually have 4 divisions. They have Maybachs, they have Authentic Heroes, and they have a vinyl record division, which they press vinyl. It's really cool stuff, and the vinyl market is set to grow. It is. It's supposed to set to double in the next 8 years. You know, we've sold more vinyl since like the most vinyl since I think 1988 or 1987, I think is the year. That's pretty wild stuff. But I don't know. This guy has me excited. The stock in general has me excited. I'm going to talk about the chart in a second. If Rob, if you could play that clip of Chris basically talking about an A-lister, because guess what? They're going to sponsor an event, it looks like. So it's in the works at least. So let's see what he had to say about that.
And a guy like Howard, okay, it's coming on board, okay, you know, I mean, a Paul, okay, our CEO, 3 other individuals that will be announced over the course of the coming month, okay, are all coming on board, okay, because they have the vision. You know, the vision, okay, is that we have something that nobody else has, not only for merch, but in terms of a vertical and horizontally integrated company that can serve the needs, whether of an athlete, okay, but mostly, okay, in the music arena, okay, we can do everything for an artist. And right now we're working, okay, with an artist, okay, that is an A-lister. And that's for a live event. And the potential, okay, to go ahead, okay, and do a live concert. It's a promotional production piece, okay. And, you know, okay, we're in the deep throes, okay, of what I think are final negotiations. You know, they've already said, okay, we'll allow you to go ahead, okay, and do the sponsorship. In terms of what we would bring to the table, because you know, we have people that are very heavy into the sponsorship arena. And so they said yes to that. I said, well, I'm not going to say yes to you, okay, unless you give me the broadcast rights. You give me the broadcast rights, okay, because the sponsors will want to be seen on TV. The sponsors will want a shout out from the artist as well. It's not the old sponsorship days where you got a static banner, okay, in the back of the stage, okay, or, you know, you got some, you know, a little bit of a TV play on a VOD or something like that. It's changed. It's been put on its head, and it's driven by social media. And our guys are pretty, you know, pretty pronounced in that arena, our sponsorship guys. So
is it a household name, would you say?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's up there. Okay. The world knows who it is.
Yeah, maybe you did see a green in my eyes a little bit, just a little bit. But yeah, and I don't know, that's freaking exciting. Let me talk about, you know, here's the 1-year chart, and there's nothing going on there. But if you look, you know, total downtrend, it topped out at 002. Okay, 002. But let's look at the last 3 months. You know, it's starting to break and it's starting to reverse. I like what I see here. And it got batted down at 8, and now we're moving past that. Batted down at 10 a little bit. Boom. 10 is the new support, in my opinion. That's my opinion. If it goes to 9, I'll be like, hey, you know, it is what it is. All right, but I like 10. I like 10. What can I say? 9, 10. Maybe I'll throw some bid support at 9. I don't know. I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet. But this one has me very excited, and I think if it breaks that 002 mark, I think this thing's going to go on a tear, especially if, and let's be real, all this is contingent on what management does. That's the truth. You know, it could get up to those levels, and maybe they drop the ball. I don't know. Nobody can predict anything. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that these guys have a clear plan. I think that if you look at his Twitter, the Authentic Holdings Twitter, or X, I know I keep saying Twitter, whatever, the Twitter. I think that they have clear plans over the next couple months, and they're going to be updating us regularly. So I look forward to having him back on the show too. So I'm not sure, Jordan, if you have followed that one at all, or if you've you know, I'm not sure. Have you been following that one, dude?
No, not really, but I have a huge vinyl collection, so I do see the promise in it.
That doesn't shock me that you would have a huge vinyl. It's coming back. I know people that have record players and they go and get vinyl. Like at first, I was thinking of vinyl, but no, it's growing. It really is. Do you have any favorite records?
Yeah. I mean, tons of them, but the big takeaway there is just like I think it depends on what you listen to. It's probably not going to be worth the added expense and difficulty and time that it takes just to figure it all out. If you just listen to top 40, but there's certain genres, jazz and this and that, some of the 80s electronic, that when you listen to it on vinyl, especially a good pressing, and you're like, oh, this totally makes sense. So I think that's where people that were in charge of making and manufacturing vinyl really dropped the ball, because everybody just said it's dead technology, it's never going away, whatever, and it's successfully outperformed pretty much every other version except for I think digital download over the last like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, and I'm not that big. Like, I love the quality of a record, especially like on drum tracks. You could hear the rawness of it, especially it depends on how it's recorded. But you could hear the rawness of it. You could hear this. It just sounds so much more authentic, in my personal opinion. If I had to choose between listening to a record, I don't have a record player, but if I had the opportunity to listen to record versus digital, I'm going record player. I don't know why. That's just personal preference. What do you think about the vinyl market, guys? Tell me what you think about that. Harry Parrott's going to tell me what he thinks about Ilus. Just seems Ilus has the best chance to break out. Paul McKinney, AHRO getting ready to boom. I would be fine with that. I'm still editing my position, so I hope they wait for me. But yeah, that's exciting. Exciting stuff. And we could talk a little bit about the cannabis stocks. There's a couple stocks I want to cover. And I think a lot of the, like in talking with cannabis, I'm not sure how you've been following any of that stuff, but I think the real go ahead is when it gets legalized across the board, you're going to see an explosion of cannabis stocks just go through the roof. At the end of the day, what's going to happen is, the strongest are going to emerge. And the ones that are still strong are going to probably get absorbed by the bigger companies. The space is huge now, and that's because it's state-based. That's my opinion. Is like California could have a really, really good market with a lot of distributors. The minute all 50 states are playing, it gives the bigger companies a chance to expand and buy out all the smaller companies. And you're going to see a lot of that. But, that's down the road. But I do think we're going to have one of the ones I have been covering, and actually the CEO and the team was on before was ticker BLEG. And I like what these guys are doing. I had a great sit down with them. They've been on twice. And I look forward to having Dave Oswald back on. Right now, they're under 1 billion authorized shares. They have 611 million shares, 612, and 529 million in the float. All right, let's look at one of their acquisitions. By the way, their news, I really like seeing this. Brandon Legacy strengthens its position in biotech industry with letter of intent to purchase Sycamore Biopharma. That was on 2/29/24. Well, just a couple weeks later, they significantly expands their portfolio and production capacity through a successful acquisition of Sycamore Biopharma. So when do you ever see that happen? A LOI go through, and then 2 weeks later, and they probably timed it, so it looked really efficient. But that's what I like to see as an investor, not an LOI and then have to wait. There are people with LOIs, and this is no joke, that we're still waiting a year in the works. I could use RMRK as an example with the Blue Nutric deal. What happened there? Nothing. It was an LOI. It just never went through. One that's reminding me of that is ticker NUMD, my big real estate play. And I'm hoping that they get that done very, very soon, because I'm excited with the company that's moving in. But I'm not going to talk about NUMD right now. But man, oh yeah, BFC should have BLEG back on. I did talk to the CEO yesterday, and they are looking forward to giving us an update. And I can't wait to hear the update, because they're doing a good job. So here it is, talking about their biotech holdings company to do Sycamore Biopharma, securing assets of exceeding $2 million in that deal. All right. The acquisition brings forth over 500,000 high-quality, ready-to-sell inventory and aligns seamlessly with branded Legacy's dedication to quality, authenticity, and a commitment to natural ingredients. And just more recently, on the 9th of April, they just announced that they're going to be adding even more revenue here. This is great. Dave Oswald, we are thrilled to expand the Everglade line for surge distribution with the introduction of THCA flower, featuring the iconic imagery and branding that have contributed to the success of this line. All right. This addition is a testament to our ongoing commitment to customer satisfaction and reinforces our position as a trusted leader in premium cannabis offerings. All right. Under this enhanced partnership, Royal Biotech will provide surge distribution with 4,000 packages of THCA flower twice each quarter, generating a constant revenue stream with each order valued at approximately $40,000. And so there's where they get that $320,000 of added revenue for 2024. Excellent news. That's great news. Here's the 3-month. Let's go back to the year. I want you, the 15 mark has been solid support. Going back to November, you just see like that is great support there at 15. I know some people are like, well, it's a 2 and out. That could be the new support. It could be. I'm just saying, for me, I like 15. Zoom out. When in doubt, zoom out. I like 15. All right. Zooming into that 3-month, consistent. All right. I think it's a safe place for entry. That's my personal opinion there. Now, the other cannabis stock that I wanted to discuss is RWGI, Road Dog. Now, these guys are awesome as well. Clearly, and I'm hoping to have the whole team on the show. These guys are great. I like this. I like a roadmap. I like to see a company in December or November, December say, boom, this is what we're going to do. That's what I think is so needed. And these guys are setting themselves apart from the rest by doing stuff like this. I know I'm easily entertained. Oh, look, it's a cute little graphic. Well, it's a cute little graphic that it holds them accountable. All right. Right now, the 24-25 roadmap, you had January through March. Let's see, quarter 1, monthly revenue reports, expand license portfolio, expand wellness division, hemp and canna isolates, increase management and distribution sales, complete license requirements. Well, guess what? I like to see this. They held themselves accountable. Look what they did. Boom. Oh, and they tagged their roadmap. Hey, just to let you know, all quarter 1 milestones complete, and CEO with accounting today, completing quarter 1 financials. Next week, CEO to announce which Q2 milestones have been completed. And we're in April. All right. So they're moving fast here. They're not screwing around. I'm excited for these guys. All right. Not only that, they were featured in a NASDAQ article with some bigger names like Tilray and Sundial. All right. Great article here. Of course, it gives the the disclaimer: higher risk, high reward types of stocks, penny stocks. But RWGI emerges as a potential game changer in the dynamic landscape of the cannabis sector, founded with a clear focus on capitalizing on opportunities within the regulated California cannabis market. The company positions itself as a strategic partner and facilitator for licensed cultivation, distribution, manufacturing, and retail dispensaries. All right. Great stuff. Under the stewardship of CEO Chris Swartz, Road Dog International Industries outlined a comprehensive roadmap in January 2024 aimed at propelling the company's growth trajectory. With the acquisition of Parabola Management LLC, RWGI strategically positions itself to expand its revenue stream rapidly. Swartz's vision underscores a commitment to operational excellence and shareholder value enhancement. The roadmap delineates, oh my God, I can't talk today, key milestones for 2024, including the acquisition of cannabis licenses for manufacturing and distribution, expansion of the wellness division, basically everything that was on that Q1. RWGI's shareholder-centric approach is underscored by regular updates and transparent communication. The company's February shareholder update highlighted significant progress with completed applications for cannabis license distribution centers and substantial investments in infrastructure development. Financial statements reflect robust growth, with revenue soaring from $30,000 in December 2022 to $103,000 in December 2023, showcasing operational efficacy and revenue generating potential. All right. This, and then the article goes on, but this makes me very excited for these guys. You know, this is good stuff. They obviously have stuff going on. You want to see those revenue increases. You want to see them be transparent. You want to see them expand their network. You want to see them reach out to shareholders. I love that more and more. I'm finding out that, there's more shareholder meetings, by the way. I like to find those companies that have those meetings. And I know there's going to be a couple meetings that I know about that are going to be announced soon. So I'm not going to make any announcements yet, but I'm pretty excited about that. Nothing insider. Just, when you hear through the grapevine, you keep your lips sealed. Actually, there's nothing shocking about that. Actually, one of them's Triple DX, and he mentioned it on the show. So I'm not an inside guy. But let's look at their chart here. All right. Where do I like it? Rating this range, rated 3. Lots of movement. And then here we are. Rated that 3 mark is great, in my opinion. If I would make an entry, boom, that's where it would be. If they're going to increase their PRs, if they're going to increase, if they have more catalysts on the way, if they're going to really show us their expansion, if they stick to that roadmap and keep completing it, I like it at the 3s. I like to see these companies consolidate and then move up. So I don't know. Those are 2 stocks that I'm excited about. And by the way, back to Bleg, they did send me some stuff. I actually haven't tried this one yet, but they have sent some of their products, and I've tried a couple of their products, and they're absolutely excellent. They work. They were very good products. I plan on doing a whole product review with them at some point in the next month or so. But I really want to latch up with the team one more time because I have questions, So I don't know, George, what do you think about cannabis companies, cannabis market, where it's going? Are you excited about it? I know you're not as excited, but as Ilus, but what do you got going on there?
I mean, I don't really invest that heavily in it just because I think there's a couple of issues that those businesses inherently have. That is to say that they can still be profitable and make a lot of money, but I don't really ever wrestle at all. And of course that'll show you to follow me, because that also means I bought very little IGBK, thinking that's what that play was. And then it turned into something completely different. So,
well, that was a fluke. I mean, he did, remember Qind did say, he's like, was something bigger fell in our lap. And that's actually when I doubled my position there. I was like, okay, cool. Something fell in your lap. I had no idea it was going to go on a tear. Could have made more money. I'd have been not as greedy, but that was awesome. So the one time when you should have invested in a cannabis play was when it wasn't cannabis. but no, there are some great, I love BLEG, RWGI. I'm excited for what they're going to accomplish. Paul McKinney says, what about CYBL this week, next week, or next month? We'll see. I'm not waiting. I'm just waiting. We'll see what happens. I've more than doubled my position using Speed Trader, and I'm going to make sure that, profit is taken. I'm not going to tell you my selling points. I'm not going to do any of that, but I feel comfortable where it's at for those that can buy. I mean, we'll see. And I do think, look what happened with LTNC. That thing blasted through the roof. They're out of export market and stuff. I think there's a bigger pressure cooker with CYBL personally. I think we're going to see that thing go ballistic when that comes out of CE. Truly, the buying pressure is going to be crazy, and it's going to be freaking awesome. But it needs to happen. And I'm going to leave my personal opinions out of it. But I guess I sort of gave you a little bit of my personal opinion. But I'm holding. I'm excited. I've added, and I know we're ready to get this party started. The siblings are ready to get this party started. Actually, you own CYBL, Jordan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're ready to go.
It's gonna happen. Don't know when, but it's gonna happen.
Oh, I definitely agree. And so I talked about let's see, RWGI. We discussed a lot. There's one more that I do want to discuss. Listen, I'm going to talk Ifus. I haven't mentioned that one in a while, and I could talk FLES too, because I did tag that one. I'll give you my opinion on that towards the end, but let's talk about Ifus. This is their most recent PR. I'm still absolutely long on Ifus. I have 100,000 shares of it, and I think that this is a very, very long-term play. But let's, I'll get to the chart in a second, but I think we're going to get good news soon. Let's look at their most recent PR. I'm pleased to report that AgroGlow Biotech has published its new website that can be found at www.agroglowbiotech.com. We have received confirmation from the cargo company that the shipment of bagasse from their sugar mills in India through our customs broker in the port of New Orleans, which is still expected to arrive at the port of New York on or about April 18th, 2024. The cargo will be offloaded and driven to the port of New Orleans. We have trucking arranged to pick up the cargo at the port and delivered to our plant in Napoleonville. All right. We will process their product and package for shipment back to India in less than a week using the same cargo company. Upon arrival in India, AgroGlow will segregate 5 cows from the herd of dairy cows to be fed a ration of SGP plus 2. That is comprised of bagasse, or it's not comprised, comprised of bagasse from the Surat area in India, Surat, maybe, treated with the proprietary Nutrimastic formula for a trial period of 45 days. AgroGlow has sent us 220 or 2,200 pounds of bagasse to be treated in return to their location. It goes on. A U.S.-based representative of AgroGlow Biotech has been invited to the plant in Napoleonville to observe the process. During the visit, we will be discussing a potential distributorship to be established in the state of California for our U.S.-based SGP+. There are a total of 23.8 million acres being farmed in California, according to the USDA. In the first month of January 2024, there were 665,000 beef cows, 1.7 million dairy cattle, and 5.1 million calves. Milk production, measured in pounds, is 40 billion. Damn, that's a lot of milk. I am also pleased to report that our first portion of our product of Intact Digest and Intact Endurance in 8-ounce bottles has been shipped to our Napoleonville, Louisiana location. Once we have cleared the back orders, we will make every effort to ship on the day orders are received. So they do have a lot going on. I hope that they give us more in the next couple weeks, a couple months. I think it's going to be exciting. Let's look at the 3-month chart. There it is. It's sort of like, let's zoom out. Let's zoom out first. They had a nice cup and handle down here. I remember that. And then it just consolidated and then nice steady climb and then pop. All right. Now people took profit and it's starting to calm down and it's starting to consolidate again in the 7 range. For me, I like the 7 support. That's where I see it. We got in this one at the BFC at 1. All right. I made good profit on this one, but I'm riding 100,000 shares long term. I'm not touching it. The reason why is because I believe in what they're doing. I believe in the product. I believe in, helping the cattle industry. They want to eradicate, in my opinion, the cattle industry. They want everybody having their 3 shakes a day. They don't want people eating steak. They want people driving electric cars. They want you using electric stoves. And it doesn't make sense, because you have to look at the coal production to actually get that electric power. But I believe in what they're doing. I think it could save the cattle industry. They need those major contracts. But I love the 7 support here. Chart-wise, this thing looks great. I love it. I love it down there at 7s. I think personally that's a place to add. That's my personal opinion. And I also wanted to give a shout out to Kelsey Vibes. All right, on that poll I had earlier, I think he was the only one that gave me some tickers and why. So he mentioned FBEC, SPZI, and RNVA. So, and the reasons why he liked those, but which sort of still wasn't the question. But hey, whatever. Oh man, Jordan, it's good to have you on. Thanks for sitting while I ramble about some of my favorite stocks. So, what do you want to share with us? By the way, you're where are you at now? You're Nevada?
Yeah, I'm in Vegas.
Ah, Vegas, nice.
So, yeah, no, it's not so much that I want to share anything as much as it is that it's a good opportunity to reassess what your plan was, and how your plan's going. And, for us, for the OTC, I feel pretty good about where we're at, what we're doing, how it's been going. Obviously, everybody wants it faster and for more money. Those are standards that never go away. But seeing how close we are for a couple of different plays, seeing a bunch of other plays that are just making really big moves. DRCR, that was great seeing them, poke their head up. Ifus, like you said, I think they've got nowhere to go but up. There's so many. Right now that these plays that are really they've needed our support. We bought in. We've stood behind them, and now they have to not only survive these difficult economic times, but then after they get their whatever, and of course they all have different things, but after they get their ducks in a row, they have to start making money. And I think a whole bunch of the companies that the BFC covers are right on the cusp of doing that. So that's really where I'm at with it, is just trying to get more money in and buying while everything is down and people don't like it, knowing that inevitably that trend will change and then everybody's going to be buying it for much more than I paid for it back for me.
I like how you say that. Don't buy George shares.
You can have all of them.
Well,
For just
well,
slightly more than I paid.
Yeah, right. And I gotta say though, and this is a truth, for small companies, especially small like microcap, small companies that are even global, to be able to survive, especially in the States here, over the last year and a half, I think those companies that do survive are going to emerge even stronger and will be a force to be reckoned with. I truly believe that. You got to get built tough. You know what I mean? You just, if it's easy, you're going to be weak. If you're tough, if you have a tough time and you have to struggle to succeed, it's going to make the good times seem great. You know what I'm saying, dude?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. That's exactly how it's supposed to be. If it was easy, then everybody would do it. But the fact that it's difficult means that the next time that this pattern happens and we go into another recession or a crash or whatever, and you see these stocks that are just too good to fail, and you see them down 30, 40, 50%, now hey, man, even though the news and everybody's all freaking out and everybody is scared to buy, the people that do and hold not only do well, but do statistically much better than any averages for the market in those very specific times, right? So I found that it's very, very easy to buy a good variety of really good stocks in those difficult times and then just hold them. You almost always make money. The one or two that might not recover or whatever are easily surpassed by the ones that do.
And it's easy to buy when something's riding high. And one thing I'm realizing is, like, one thing I try to do is I try to do the due diligence. I try to get in before. I try to research before, and it's not exciting. There's nothing exciting about bid sitting or and I'm not saying I buy in the ask. It depends. But yeah, if I'm establishing a position and I'm watching a stock move, I'm gonna try and get it for as cheap as possible. And it's not exciting. It's exciting when it starts to move, and then you could offload your shares and establish your long position if you're going long. So I don't know. Like, this is not the most exciting time for some of these stocks. But no, don't get me wrong. The OTC is alive and well. All right, there are some really good plays moving. But for a lot of these stocks that we're talking about, their time is coming. Like, we're talking about Ilus, SAML, CYBL, DRCR. I know we're talking about those ones, but their time's coming. So I don't know. That's my opinion. These aren't facts. These aren't facts, are they, Jordan? But yeah, let's see. Who do we have in the chat? We have Bella, Paul McKinney, J7 Cars. I like that. ILS Army. We're here. Arlix. Oh my God. Well, thank you, Arlix. Shout to you. Boy, do I know. With Jason Leal. Jason Leal. Hey, Jason. Isla sucks. Been saying they didn't only. Been saying they didn't only. Jordan?
Yeah, I mean, you can only do so much.
That's fine.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Oh man, what a Sunday night! What a Sunday night! Oh, guys. Well, listen, I guess that Jordan, That's it. I mean, like, thanks for coming on, dude. It's been a long time. We got to get you more on here more regularly. I know that you had to move and you're moving around for work and stuff, and you have a big important things to do. I get it. You're too busy for your best friend E-Rock here, uh, but we got to get together for wings when you're up here, bro. Seriously, last time was a hoot. We had a great time.
Oh yeah, it's we're closer to getting wings than we are farther apart from getting wings.
Oh, that's damn true. Yes, is the word imminent?
Imminent. Chicken wings are imminent.
Chicken wings.
We'll get our Lex involved too, since he super chatted.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I had a chance to hang out with him last month. We had a good time. Oh wait, he says, what about FLES? I'll get to FLES in a second. Let me get Jord out of here. Thanks for joining me, brother. Get this guy out of here.
No, thanks for having me.
Oh man, dude, he's great. But I love the comments, by the way. So I actually had a good laugh. But yeah, FLES. And Lisa Matthews asked about any word on the ticker change for DRCR. I think it's going to be moot because they're going to do that reverse merger. Michael Singleton, I think AITX will move as well. Not financial advice. You got to put that in there, or else they're coming for you, Michael. They're going to come for you. Yeah, I think the company is growing. I think AITX. I think Steve's doing a great job. You know, people worry about the big share structure, but hell, looking like LTNC, you got a force behind it big enough, it's going to move. And so I like what Steve's doing. I think that the products are great, and I think we're just at the beginning of the whole AI security thing. So Gary Higgins talks about, what about FLES? Ticker FLES, auto parts for less. Okay, listen. This is the thing. We were riding high with ticker FLES, and I have the most respect for Chris Davenport, and I look forward to having him on the show in the future. To give us some updates. And so, basically, this is what happened. This is one of those plays. Those low flow plays where there was a lot of hype, a lot of excitement. All right. We had him on the show. The next day, that price jacked up to, like, I'm not saying it was because of what we did here, to what, 14, 15 cents. Little did we know there was a no holder that was just going to dump all over us. 3, actually. And they're not done, in my opinion. Personally, I do not think they're done. And so he was very clear about the business aspect. And then you have people on the Twitter, on the X, doing their thing, about, the note holders and clearing debt and yada, yada. And they did clear debt. They have a second chance with the funding that they're going to get to make FLES great. I don't see an immediate response in share price anytime soon. And the reason why is because it's like, I don't know. It's like you had a really good date. Now, I didn't go in the red on FLES. A lot of you made money on it. Some of you doubled up, and now you're averaging down. It's like going on a really nice date with a girl. It's like things are great, and then you just get kicked in the nuts. That's what FLES is right now to a lot of people. And trust me, I know Mr. Davenport understands that. Long term, I think that they could be very, very successful. I think they're going to make the adaptations that they need to. I think they're going to turn profitable. I think he's going to, and yeah, it is profitability and the filings, the financials, the big catalyst in the OTC. No, it's not. I get that. But I think people that are watching it closely are going to tend to make stronger positions if they know that he's turning profitable. I think what he's doing is great. There's no doubt in my mind that guy is passionate about what he's doing. No doubt. He's been great. You could tell when he's on, he's very excited about it. I think it was a note holder disaster. And I think that, when it comes to the funding, I think there are things that are still just not clear. Things that are just not clear, and things that need to be cleared up. I've never, it's just interesting. Let's just say that. It's just very, very interesting. And I'm just saying that because I think that they have massive potential, and they could have, that share price could have probably moved to the 20, 30, 40, 50 cent range. But people started dumping on it. No holders started dumping. Hey, you know what? If you're holding something restricted, it's unrestricted, and then the share price goes from 4 cents to 15 cents, I would probably sell too if I was a private investor. Oh, look. Oh, my God, my private investment. My restricted shares are unrestricted. Oh, wow, it's not at 1 penny. It's at 14 cents. Yeah. The whole point is to buy low and sell high. And I would like to sell into volume to take profit, not just like dump all over everybody. But that's their right to do that. to me personally, if I like a company and I'm supporting that company, I'm not going to crap all over their shareholders when I'm, and they do it. These people that get these shares, these people that do debt finance, these people that have these long positions where they're sitting on their shares for 2 years. And by the way, shout out to Chris Davenport for renegotiating as much debt as he did. I think that's the sad thing, is that got lost in all the hoopla regarding these note holders. That's a point that got lost. The point that he has debt shelved for 24 months now, and he has a second chance to really build out the company. And that's sad that got lost in all that other baloney. That's disappointing. But I still own FLES shares. I'm not going anywhere. I'm supporting that company long term. Any of the companies I talked about tonight have an open door policy here on the BFC. Contact me if you want to join us and share with your shareholder base or potential shareholders. That's what we're all about here, is DD from the source. Now, Lisa Matthews. Yes. DRC or RM. That's big. So I basically earlier I talked about they're doing this thing where they're doing it SAML. They're doing it with QIND. It's exciting. So yeah, there's going to be big things happening. The company's undervalued. Look at the company like SFIO. Look at their filings. You're talking about 00 stock. I mean, I don't know. There are so many undervalued plays, and I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, because a couple of my investments are down. I've had some great. Actually, this has been my best year trading. It's been a great year for me. LSU lost. I'm sorry about that. Baseball. That's all right. My Braves we're having pitching problems. But no, I think that there are some really great plays. I have a couple that are down, but this has been my best year trading. I'm actually very excited. I'm doing a better job trimming profit. I'm doing a better job with my entries. I'm being a little bit more patient. I still have a long way to go. I said I wanted to go from, 5 figures to maybe 6 figures by August, and I'm close. I think I'm going to do it. We'll see. We'll see if I get there or not. We could talk more about this in the Discord. I'll be more specific in the Discord. Rob, if you could throw that Discord link in there, that'd be great. But no, I want to say thank you. By the way, thank you to producer Rob. You've been great. I appreciate having you on. Special thanks to Jord Hugga. I want to say a special thanks to all 167 of you guys watching right now. Hit the like button. Share the content. Join the BFC Nation. I love doing this. I can't wait to have more interviews, discuss more companies. We're just getting started. I said this year, January 1st, it's going to be the year of the BFC, and we're having a good time, and like I said, shout out to everybody watching that, and that's a part of this community. I would have never thought a year and a half ago that this is where we would be, but it's absolutely exciting. I have tremendous respect for a lot of you, and it's just been good stuff. So, all right, check out the Discord if you want to join us. There's about 40 of us in there right now. We're topping out at 100. If we get there, I hope we get there one day. But it's a great community. But that's all I got. You guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening, and I hope you guys have a great week trading. We have a lot to look forward to. Stay positive, keep doing what you're doing, and remember, there is more that binds us than breaks us. Have a great night. Peace out.